So this is Street Talk. It's either episode 9 or 10 because I've lost at 9, I think. So let's say 10. And I'm here with Seed of the Band. Yay! I'm so excited. I should be looking at that camera. Seed of the Band, who actually I knew they existed, but wasn't sure about their music until I went to see them at the John McIntosh Square gig. And you were bloody brilliant.
Thank you.
And I was raving, and I was so excited that I went up because I know Daryl from GBC, and I went up to you guys, and I know you from Basadoni.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, you are so cool. So you are very cool.
Oh, appreciate that.
You heard them.
I haven't.
But
I love the band name.
Why?
That's a Daryl creation right there.
It's muy 70s.
Tell them why.
Tell us why. Tell us why.
We had a terrible band name earlier.
Which was what?
It was Moth.
Moss?
Moth.
Oh, Moth.
With a full stop on the end. To be fair to me,
Heavy Kerrang de los 90s.
I was thinking logo style could have been really, really cool. Good for the merch. Then you think about it and like, who's going to want to come and see a band called Moth?
In the 90s?
In the 90s,
Probably would have worked really well in the 90s.
I mean, yeah.
Yo hubiera ido.
Let's go back.
30 years too late.
Yeah, man.
Tampoco hace tanto tiempo de los 90s.
He's 27, I was born in 96.
Sí, pero... No tengo 50 y pico, que no te pase.
I'm not saying a word.
This interview is short.
We're starting off on a high and we're going downhill.
So you decided, did you ever do anything called Moth? Were you called Moth or you changed your name immediately?
Well, around the time that we were like starting to do songs together, we were just sort of like cycling around like names and stuff. So, but we never really sort of publicised it.
Yeah, we never released anything.
Never released.
So you could have had Celtic the Secret y La Me Caga when you've said it.
Because it's
Yeah, we probably shouldn't have brought it up, to be honest with you. This is
Remember that? It's not even a very good story.
So what are you like? School friends?
How
do you? Okay.
Yeah, me and Daryl have been friends for a very long time. We were in a band together before.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just met Harry. Well, I met Harry last year. I don't know about you.
We were I was in a covers band like last summer, which went on a very long hiatus, and he was watching one of my gigs, and we got to talking about doing something together, and then we started jamming around with some people, and then out of pure chance he comes back from Mexico, tired and weary, and now we're here.
Tired and weary in Mexico. What were you doing?
Canta, parece que están
Do we want to know what you were doing?
He's been legally advised not to say anything.
No, I went out there to basically just start working in marketing because I got offered this opportunity, and I knew that I would never get a job in marketing if I didn't just go and do it. And yeah, it ended up being
The job wasn't marketing.
It ended up.
Juicy. Yes. We want to know everything.
It started off being a marketing job, and then it turned more into like a sales job because they wanted to like sell the place, and I was kind of. By the end of it, I just ended up being someone's PA. So I kind of just. It was a great experience, but I had to get out just for my own sake. Yes.
Where were you in Mexico?
I was in a place called Akumal.
Akumal.
Yeah.
My husband's been there.
Yeah, it's near Cancun and Playa del Carmen and all these
so
places.
There's a lot of real estate there. Sí, sí, pues. What are you doing?
And other things, no? I've been to Acapulco, which is further down.
Me encanta.
My respect. So yeah, you came back, and then you joined these two, and then there's another guy that's part of your band,
Yeah, some other guy.
Yeah, the silent partner.
a silent partner,
We don't really talk about
who
him. He's
couldn't
kind
be
of
here
hit and miss
today.
sometimes.
Hombre, ¿qué?
No, we
I
do
don't
this all
know.
the time. We do this all the time.
He's a bassist, so you don't really notice him, you don't hear him.
Okay.
So he's just.
A nadie le interesa los bases.
He's very talented though.
Flea.
Very
He's very
talented.
good.
Very talented.
He's
bassist.
quite cool on stage, actually. He's got like longish hair.
Who is it?
Chiquitito.
Mystery.
Yeah, you'll have to watch the band, look them up on YouTube, and see what they do.
It's pretty much just us two throwing ourselves about on stage. He's playing the drums, and
Look,
then
I know who he
Bradley's on the
is.
bass, just doing his thing. Cool as hell.
Moody Wavy.
Moody Wavy, yeah.
Moody indie
Moody
boy.
Wavy is
Yeah.
about right.
He's very 90s.
He's very
He is very
He
nice.
has that 90s look
Got
going
hair.
for him. Yeah.
¿Quién
it. No, you'll have to watch it. Well, no, so you called yourself Cedar the band? Just Cedar.
Just Cedar.
Cedar.
On Instagram, we're Cedar the
When
band.
I look you up, I
'cause,
put Cedar the band.
I think some sort of wood company called Cedar or something.
Yeah, not even a wood
That would
company.
make
no,
sense.
Some colega.
Some colleague in like China or something has the name Cedar, just Cedar, which is the username that we wanted, obviously.
Yeah.
So we can't take it because it's already been taken by someone else.
Oh.
And so we had to, Cedar the band, I suppose. What else are you going to put in?
So you've only been on the scene like a year as Cedar.
A year today. In fact,
A year today.
It's our anniversary, baby.
Whoa, we chose the right day.
Literally by pure chance.
Yeah.
No, I thought that you were meant to be here. I knew it from the beginning. Cool. So,
A year exactly.
And how do you, I mean, you've all got other jobs, I know.
Yeah.
So this is like a side hustle that you enjoy doing?
Yeah,
Like-
a very expensive side hustle.
Yeah,
We're not
very
making any money from this side
No,
hustle in
yeah.
the slightest. No.
Don't they pay you to do gigs?
Yeah, but we spend all the money.
We literally spend it on band
quickly.
stuff.
Very quickly,
We've
no?
never like personally profited from any gig we've ever played ever.
But it's called the grind anyway.
Yeah.
So you gotta.
I have a room full of equipment.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
So like
It's
guitars
expensive.
and
If you need to sell any of it, I'll help you and
I
take a
will
cut.
hook you up with my husband.
What does he play?
Yeah, guitar.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice one.
Yeah,
Who's your husband?
no te lo digo.
Oh, here we go. This is like the guessing game.
Is that the other guy?
Yeah.
No, this is you. I'm afraid. No, would I be married to AZ27 as well?
He's just
You never know.
He's baby. He's 23, no?
He's the youngest. He's 23, I think.
Is he
Yeah.
the youngest?
He's the
Yo me
youngest.
straight
Yeah.
up total.
I give it a year you've been going.
Sit down and get comfy with a cup of hot chocolate because here's the story of how Christian saved Christmas. Children started packing, parents lended a hand, preparing for their trip to Santa's Lapland. But availability was gone, they hadn't booked, children were crying, the parents were stoked. But along came Christian with his last minute trips. Christmas was saved, parents stayed tight-lipped. Contact us for last minute trips or to plan your dream getaway. Telephone at 350-200-71787, that's 350-200-71787, or email us at cgtc@travelcounsellors.com.
So how do you start? Like, how do you get going with the music scene? You just like do gigs, go ask people to.
I mean, yeah. I think
Do you
it's-
have to do everything, or do people come to you?
I think we sort of pride ourselves on being able to do quite a lot in terms of
Yeah.
gig and getting ourselves out there as a band. So
Yeah, I think
we're quite good on that.
I think that one of the most important things when you're in a band is that you don't have to rely on other people. You don't have to rely on you can kind of like naturally people will come and they will help you out and they'll do these things. But the most important thing is you have to be self-reliant and self-sufficient, which is something that I pride us on because we all are very good at different things. Like
Yeah.
Daryl does all of the art that we use. Daryl does it all pretty much. Unless it's like a gig poster someone else makes, but it's all in-house and all the videos and the music videos he does. He does everything.
Everything.
Pretty much. Everything.
Yeah, and your music videos. The last one I saw was with people that I knew. Sam
Bush, right?
Sam Bush.
Yeah,
yes,
he's a good mate of
and
mine,
you were
yeah.
filming in a pub somewhere.
it was the
in La
horseshoe.
Línea,
Shout out
and the
to the horseshoe.
horseshoe.
Shout out to the Donkey's Flip Flop.
Yeah, very,
Absolute
very
gentlemen,
cool.
absolutely cool
and
guys.
Yeah,
Jesus.
and it's Daryl does all that. No, 'cause
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
You have to, no? Because the moment you source out, that's money.
Well, it's-
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's
the end of the
money,
day,
it's also time waiting on
Yes.
someone to deliver, and then if you don't like what they've done, then you have to go back, you have to go forth. So I suppose we're fortunate in a way, I suppose, that I've always been into graphic design and
Yeah.
making videos and stuff. I mean, it's literally what I do for a living.
What did you
So-
guys like individually? Well, how did you start? Or did you go? Did your parents put you into lessons when you were a
Well,
kid?
no, actually, I started, funny enough, I started playing guitar. That was my first, I suppose, as a lot of musicians start. Started playing guitar, and I used to go to lessons with the late Philip Valverde, as a lot
yeah.
of people did.
In fact, I think we all did, didn't
Yeah.
we?
Did you
Yeah,
really?
we all did, yeah.
from like a young age.
From like 12 years old.
Wow.
I was,
Okay.
yeah, I was about the same, and
Yeah.
bless him, I I think everyone knows Philip was an amazing guy, but not the best teacher.
No, no.
Okay, really?
Well, back in 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
No, yeah.
So like I remember actually like he said he was trying to teach me something and I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it and was going on for ages. And he had like his money sort of counter thing, whatever, his till, I suppose. And
Yeah.
like he had a bunch of like little like business cards and stuff like that. And while I was playing, I was trying to figure this out. I was like, I hate the guitar. I don't like this. Like I can't figure it out. And there was like a little flyer that said, "Do you want to learn how to play drums? Contact Peter Chichon on this number." And I was like, "I'm gonna try out to play the drums." And then I called Peter, and then I had my first
I thought
lesson.
you were
I
gonna
loved
say
it.
que he literally went, toma niño, vete de aquí.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you met
downgraded.
Peter, she shot me through
Completely.
going to Phillips.
Going, with Philip, and then I really liked it, and then I just carried on from there. Then I joined Headwise, and
That's what I remember.
That's it. So you were in Headwise before, but you were.
I was.
Yes, you were.
As well, you
Yeah.
both were.
Fresh-faced and young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Malvita ni nada.
yeah.
No, yeah.
Compared to me, you're very young.
So for me, I think it was because I was always very involved with the choir and stuff in first school and middle school and everything. So for me, that was always singing was always a big part of it. But I never really like properly focused on the singing until like maybe 8 years ago. When I went to university, and there was a lot of people in university who we used to do these group workshops, and all the singers would come in on a Monday morning, and they'd be like, "No, I don't want to sing. I don't want to. Can't be asked." And I would look around and I'd just be like, "Look, if you're not gonna sing,
I'll sing."
I'm gonna sing." And then
Okay,
after,
if you're a singer, that's all you want
yeah,
to do.
but this is the thing is that it's when you do it at uni, it's a bit like homework. You know what I mean? If you don't really get involved with it, like in school, I didn't do well in music because it was so educational, like too educational.
Yeah, too technical, maybe. Yeah.
Wait, for me. But yeah, no, in uni it was a different story because it was very practical. So you kind of like you had to use your skills and get up and do it and show people that you can do it. So that's when I really started getting into the singing part. I was always doing harmonies and stuff in Headwires and other things. But yeah.
So have you been trained, like properly with the whole breathing, or less so?
In bits, yeah, but not the most training I've done really is just from gigging, like just constantly gigging, rehearsing, recording,
Yeah.
and that's literally
It's
the
really
past.
hard, at least in gym, I found that it's very difficult to find someone because I've tried to find someone for me.
Yeah.
And it all tends to be very focused on kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
La
Yeah.
verdad.
Following you.
And I
Yeah.
find that there's nobody
Well,
who
that's the
literally
thing.
go, venga, I'll show you.
Yeah, I feel like that's because like when people are teaching here in JIP, they're mainly focusing on GCSE and like A level and stuff because they have like a curriculum, so they stick to that mostly. But yeah, no, it is a bit of an untapped market. You know,
It is,
you don't
and
really hear
the
about that,
same
yeah.
with in my bucket list is playing the drums.
Oh, really? Okay.
Heavy, ¿vale? I try to get my daughter to do it, tanto heavy como los dance moms, pero como drum mom. Y no, ella, after a month, ella se creía que iba a estar tocando en Wembley, se dio cuenta que no, so she gave up. But I really want to, and I can't, pero who?
Peter
Yeah.
Chichon?
Peter Shishan.
Peter will teach you.
Number one.
Problem.
I guess the problem is there's a lot of guitar teachers in this town and like bass teachers, but not a lot of drum teachers or anything like that.
You know that my husband was self-taught, ¿vale? Did it at home, and then at one point he thought, I want to learn properly, and he went to a flamenco teacher in La Línea. Cada vez que ponía la mano le pegaba la Así no es. Así, scary. Así como, pero he learned a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the
Like you're
best
getting
sort of
whacked
way.
across the hands every time you did something wrong. You would learn fast.
Yeah, I'm sure you would, yeah.
Pero you have to, I suppose that if you want to learn and you want to get really deep into it, te la tiene que buscar, ¿no?
Mira, anything you want to do with music, you have to devote a lot of time to it.
Yeah.
So lo que
Yeah,
pasa,
it's 100%
I'm
focus all
not
your
18 years old. I don't
Yeah.
have all the free time in the world.
No, but I think it's more about just just like practicing every single. You have to be obsessed to be to a certain level and actually sort of like play confidently in front of people and stuff.
Yeah,
like
You need
obsessed
have a
almost to
level
a fault,
of
you know?
obsession to just
So,
play and
so you
play.
guys work, you have your jobs,
Yeah.
and then most of your free time is like rehearsing, recording.
Yeah, we're exhausted all the time. All the time.
Yeah,
Really?
literally.
And, so, and where do
Always.
you record? Like, who do you have like a producer who would put it together for you, or how do you do that?
For our first 2 singles, we went with Danny Farr, who recorded and mixed our songs. He did a very good job of it as well. But all the money that we've saved up from gigs and t-shirt sales and merch and stuff, we've put towards recording equipment of our own. So we're going to start doing or trying to do our own recordings for future singles. So that's the plan going forward, I think.
Because all the music is you write it yourselves.
Yeah.
It's all original stuff.
All original stuff, yeah.
So who has the creativity to?
We all kind of pitch in relatively sort of equally, I think.
I think the really good thing about us is that we got some food
That's
coming. Hold on.
a brief intermission, I think.
So we should add, actually, thank you so much. Time Out Cafe here in Euroports, actually, we should mention that. Thanks to Ian Valentine and his team who have invited us. Patrick hasn't had anything to eat, so
Yeah,
he's like, I'm
so
starving.
hungry.
Please help yourselves. They've got lovely breads and the best chocolate cake ever, which I'm going to ask for later.
But I'll
and
finish,
really
I'll
nice
finish
bagels.
I'll finish my thought while I'm
Yes,
passing
finish your
around
thought, finish your
everything.
thought.
But yeah, basically with us, it's like everyone kind of has their own style. So like you come to rehearsal and maybe Harry's come up with something and then we just jam it out. But
Yeah.
before we had our recording equipment, everything would get lost. Like we wouldn't.
All the ideas we would like have like from a
would be
jam,
gone.
we would like just like after about half an hour just forget what the hell we just like made, and so it became a bit of a nightmare. Just how the hell did that go? You know? I can't believe we just let that one go. You know,
But it's a team effort with the songwriting. I think the more the lyrics and melody, that's me.
That's
and
what I
then-
wanted to know. ¿Quién
Yeah.
hace los lyrics? Tú.
Yeah, I do. But
And what do you base your music on? I mean, who are your influences?
it's a very broad range of influences.
Yeah.
really.
What kind of genre do you?
Everyone has like their own. I suppose.
I guess we sort of like bring our own influences to the table, and you know how we approach being in this band. You know, broadly speaking, I think anything post-punk, alternative rock, indie rock, I could go on.
and because of the individual influences as well, like my style when I write melody and lyrics is more like indie pop, like kind of like Phoenix and like other like kind of more chilled bands. But then again, like through these guys, a lot of the stuff we write is a lot heavier, or it basically it's become or it's a bit weird or whatever. But it's very much just an amalgamation of everyone's styles.
So what happens if somebody has this amazing idea and you're all like during working hours texting each other, I've got to tell you this, and then you get together and you hate it. One of you hates it.
We
How
always
do you
try.
decide?
I think we always try and figure out how to make it better. And if we get to a point where we think we can't improve on it, then we don't bother, or we keep it for future.
We shelve it.
Yeah,
but I think we all, like generally speaking, we always just sort of see the worth in something that someone's contributed to the band, but maybe it just needs reworking or something, or restructuring.
But you gotta like it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
worse than playing or singing something que yo no feeling.
I mean, I think one of the main things that we set out from the very beginning was that we never wanted to have like a barrier of like, no, we're not going to play that because we don't want to play like something that sounds slightly heavier, or we want to play something that's a bit softer, maybe a little bit jazzy, whatever. You know, like we didn't want to set like any boundaries of a genre,
Yeah.
because
You're just like
in my
putting
opinion,
it out there.
putting music into genres is like almost pointless. You know? It's like it's limiting. Yes, you have your sound, you have sort of like the idea of what people listen to, but like when you're creating music, it's just essentially expression. You know, it's just like whatever that comes out. If you enjoy playing it and you think it sounds good, then just play it.
Yeah, and I think that what that sort of means is that over time, our sound is just changing like really, really sort of
Do
quickly.
you feel
does
that you
change a
have,
lot.
like in a year, like when you started, you're doing something different, you're getting better, you're more,
We're getting more experimental with our playing. Like, we're sort of like pushing the boat out and sort of exploring new territories. Whereas earlier we were sort of like well, we weren't one note or anything, but we sort of like knew that.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh wow! We sort of knew that we liked it, but we sort of like went into it going forward like we're just going to expand our sound and just evolve as much as possible and not push ourselves into a corner, put ourselves in a box about sound.
Yeah.
That's sort of our
So look,
process.
this podcast is called Street Talk. Dav and I sit together, we rant about things that go on in gym, good and bad, no? I want to know from
I
a
should choose
music.
my words carefully.
No. We told you could swear, so you can. As long as you don't say the MF word, we're okay. No.
Clear that
A mí no me pregunte.
So, in the scene in Gibraltar, so we've spoken a lot with Noni Delilo. He's like, oh, he's great, but he's always got like, I wish we could do more. I wish we were, there were more gigs, there were more things going on. And obviously, from the last few days, we've had things going on in Jib, and it's been full of people.
Yeah.
So, what do you feel the scene is like right now,
I
and
mean,
how?
I've got a lot of respect for Noni right now and Mag generally. I mean, they had some teething problems when they first began because of COVID and stuff, and it was hard to get the ground start on the ground running for them. But in the space of 2 years, they managed to put on a festival in the Piazza that was really really well done, and it went really successfully.
That's one I went to. I thought it was really good. It was an all-day event. Loads of people came and went.
Yeah, but out
I think
of that,
more people could have come.
yeah, but like out of that, they've managed to get themselves premises and stuff, so that they can get themselves a venue
Yes,
going.
in Ocean Heights. No, they told me.
Yeah, it is an Ocean Heights.
Just round behind.
Those vaults around there.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see
Which is like incredible because the one thing that we need in this town more than anything else, especially being a band, is a purpose-built live music venue.
Where every other day or every weekend or whatever you've got. Yeah, but like the Rock on the Rock Club, that's another venue.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
Which reminds me of being a student 20 or 30 years ago.
But I think, going back to your question in terms of what the scene is like around here, is that I think maybe 10 years ago there was more to say about it because there was a bit more of a predominance of live venues, but nowadays it's a lot harder to find it, and the ones
fund it, no?
and to fund it, you know what I mean? And but now you're sort of seeing what Mag are doing.
Yeah.
You see a sort of upward trajectory, so it's
I mean, there's too many restrictions.
a lot,
Everybody has a problem now.
question.
Everybody has a
Everyone
problem.
complains about everything.
About everything.
You know what I mean? It's like, there's every possibility that a gig you throw will get cancelled. Because the
Really?
police, because the police will show up.
And the thing is that people,
And
So is that like a real problem for you guys?
it's not just a real problem for bands, it's a real problem for a lot of people
anything,
that
parties,
are on the
weddings,
bands.
anything. Mira, that's something I was going to bring up today. Es una tontería, but where I live, there's a forum. Everybody's all the time moaning on the forum on Facebook, and they were saying about, can people stop drilling on a Sunday? They're como, bueno, pero if you work all week, Sunday is going to be the day that you can do your works. Bueno, pues entonces lo mismo. Now you are in your 50s, in your 60s, you don't feel like listening to loud music, so you call the police y lo cancela. But when you were 20, it was fine.
And it literally is that one phone call that determines whether
and
or
it's
not
usually the
this
same
gig will
person.
get cancelled.
One person, and that's
But
it.
then they'll become parents or they'll become grandparents and be like, ay, mi niño no tiene que ir, no puede ir a ningún sitio y mi niño le gusta tocar la guitarra, and they're always canceling their gig. Ahora te molesta, ¿no? There has to be a little more.
So what is it, the noise?
Noise, basically.
Yeah. So I think basically people are actually calling before 11 o'clock, and the law is until 11 you're allowed to make noise. People are actually calling before 11, and the police are actually acting upon it before 11, meaning that you can have a gig at 10 o'clock, still be playing at 10, and the police can still show up and they will shut down your gig, even though it's before 11 o'clock.
But why are the police entertaining it so much as well? I think there has to be a little bit of give and take.
Also has to be
I think MAG are sort of doing a lot to sort of work on that, basically.
Because there are other things that you call the police for, and then they don't reply just as quickly or
Well, of course.
efficiently.
It basically means that in this town it's harder to feasibly put a gig on because there's always going to be that sort of hanging threat of it could get cancelled. So what's the point? What's the point? Which means you only ever really have one or two places that you can play a gig, and that's Rock on the Rock and a festival that's organised by the government or something like that. Or in this case now, MAG.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You need more venues. That's it. You just need more venues.
This is the thing is that we played last week in Boyd's, and
I wanted to talk about that.
that was like an
How did that go?
unbelievable
Because I wasn't
show.
able to go.
Well, this is something that gives us a bit of hope when it comes to the Ghibli music scene. Is that we were able to get over 150 people in there
Yeah.
on that night,
On a Wednesday night in November, like
because of sheer determined promotion from us,
From you guys
and from
pushing it.
and from the organizer of the Future Sounds,
Future Sounds.
they were mad on it. They were mad on it. Yeah.
Just for 1 minute, I'd like to say Future Sounds have done a hell of a lot for like.
I don't know anything about Future Sounds. Do you?
It's-
Can you tell us a bit about them?
It's my dad that runs the thing, but
Right.
basically his shtick is he brings over up and coming UK bands to
Okay.
Gibraltar. The idea being that local bands will play alongside them and basically.
And promote them.
Well, both are being
Yeah.
platformed because the
Yeah.
UK bands are getting an exposure in a new territory, and the local bands are getting like plaudits by playing alongside these up and coming bands. Some of which have got like label signings and stuff, and have been noticed in the UK. Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
that's
this
his
band
thing.
that was playing with you, Ushuaia, no, they're from Ushuaia.
Yeah.
They're called, what are they called?
Yeah.
Bueno.
So that-
Sorry,
that's-
yes, because I've been to the proper Ushuaia.
Yeah.
So they're the Argentinos, no? Argentinas. So your dad met them.
Yeah, I mean,
knew they were-
we got put. Sorry, he was in touch with a Spanish label in La Linea called Spinner Records, and they had a bit of a backwards and forwards and got this thing going. And he approached them and asked if Fin del Mundo would want to play in Gibraltar at Boyd's,
And they said yes.
I've got to say that like Future Sounds right now are probably one of, it's not the most important promotion that we have in Gibraltar right now, because the bands that they're bringing from the UK, we are so lucky to have them here.
Yeah,
Like these
yeah.
are bands which are literally breaking through in the UK, bands who like people in the UK would regularly see and they would sell out, and they're coming here to Jib. Well, like if you would have told me and Patrick when we were in Headwires around that age that these like indie bands are coming to Gibraltar to play, that is the biggest deal ever.
Yeah,
Like,
massive.
to Jib to play. That's insane. And then there's Spin the Records, a record label based in La Linea, who are like literally releasing albums for these bands all over Spain, now Argentina, Fin del Mundo, and now they're bringing bands to Jib as well, and they're coming together, Future Sounds and Spin there, and like they're literally like without them we wouldn't have these really
Yeah.
cool bands coming over, you know?
Yeah.
And this is relatively new because your dad's company's been going quite.
It sort of began in when did it begin? I think 2020. I think that's when
But
he.
still, I mean, relatively new.
Yeah. Well,
So-
relatively new, all things considered, you know,
All things considered, exactly.
he's managed to get a lot of traction and a lot of notice around
That's
town
really
and stuff,
good.
which is sort
Okay,
of,
but if you think about it, he started it during a very, very tricky time as well.
a very tricky time, yeah, absolutely, with COVID and all that, and you know, he's sort of like first hand on what it's like to be a gig promoter and an event organizer in this town, and you know, a lot of the time it's.
Is it up against a lot of like shut doors and things like
Well,
that?
it's like well, you're sort of like you have to sort of like ingratiate yourself into the local culture, and part of like his thing is bringing over bands from the UK that the local population are never going to know, and somehow trying to convince them that this is a good idea.
And how
so,
do you? It's difficult, eh?
so basically,
But I'm really glad 150 people turned up at your gig.
Yeah, well, we were shocked.
Were you?
Yeah, we were absolutely.
Yeah, really.
We thought.
Is that like the most you've ever had?
I think for the Gibraltar Sounds we had.
I mean,
I don't know.
but for a first-time gig in Boyd's
On a Wednesday
on a
again.
Wednesday
And what
night,
was Boyd's like as a venue?
it was brilliant.
Was it?
Yeah,
we-
Because I love the bit outside.
Is it
that you can go
inside
up.
Yeah,
or
we did it
outside?
outside.
Oh, you did it outside?
Yeah,
Outside bit,
So
yeah.
basically,
Afuera, eso está
Wow.
inside, pero afuera
It's
está
very
súper
cool.
bien,
It's
took
¿eh?
really nice. It's lovely.
we took it upon ourselves to really dress up the stage and like make it special for them
Yeah.
and for like the people who came to watch. So that was like a big part of it. We kind of made it like very homely, like kind of like a bedroom style set.
Show your photos.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and
Yeah, we're quite proud of it, I think.
yeah, like this is the thing is we don't want to just put on a live show. We want to put on a show.
Like a performance.
Yeah,
Like
of
a
course.
Like Led Zeppelin, los tapetitos,
You
I
really
like
did,
that.
but I mean, I was amazed when I saw you that time. Very cool. Amazing. You just maybe. Well, we can put those pictures up. Send them to me. Yeah, for sure. We can add them somewhere. But you know, you have like an alter ego when you're on the stage and you're performing.
It's just something
No?
that comes out when
Yeah.
you
He is,
have
don't you think?
A little bit. It's kind of
Yeah,
scary
it is.
sometimes. It's a bit scary
He's like,
sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes I
I
think
was
he's
like, oh
looking
my
at me
god.
like.
Ricky was like,
Right.
my husband works with him and says, oh my god, look at Patrick go. We're like, yeah.
No, it's just something
Well,
it's
just
playing live for a
comes
long
out,
time. It
of
comes
course.
out,
Yeah.
But that's
Good.
something we try and focus on. Is not just the live performance as a group. It's more the live show and everything that comes around it. So the stage and the lights,
The ambience, you know.
And you do that
ambience.
yourselves. You have to plan all that yourselves.
Yeah, and we do it a lot, and we work a lot on it, so that we know when we go to UK, we have some experience with that. So it's not just kind of like having to rely on people, which is going back to our first point, is like we don't want to rely on anyone.
Yeah, you do it all yourselves.
We don't. If someone doesn't want to have us on a gig, we don't need them. We will do our gigs.
So where are you going with this Cedar?
I was gonna say, is that the plan, UK?
What are you going to do? Because I read somewhere that you're going to be gigging in the UK.
That's right.
I want them on my show
Take it
before
away
they
while I
become
eat the
famous. Eat a sandwich.
No, yeah, in February we're going on a tour in the UK. We're going for 10 days. We're playing 8 shows.
Wow.
So we're doing London, Leeds, Manchester, Liverpool, Brighton,
Huddersfield,
All the Janitos in England at the time. Oh my gosh, more.
wow.
Oh my god, what is
Order, I need to
that?
make some room here.
Wow, what is that?
I don't know.
It's like a strawberry donut.
It looks like it,
Sí, como una japonesa.
yeah. Getting treated well here.
Oh. Yeah, we're being treated very well. You have to come again.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. What else?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, it's just going around the UK for 8 days. We've got
And who is organising that for you?
us.
We organised
You're
it.
doing it yourselves.
We
so
organised
what? You're
everything.
just calling venues in the UK,
Yeah,
saying,
honestly,
can we
just
play here?
flagging it for half of it. Seriously,
Seriously.
just calling up these venues and being like,
Por la cara, just
wanna-
saying,
do you wanna put us on
we're
for
a
a gig?
band, and how do they know if you're, well, you
Well,
send
this
them...
is the thing. We send them our links, we send them our videos, and they decided. A lot of them came back and said, "Wow, this is cool." You know what I mean?
So good.
Yeah, but one of the biggest factors we have, and one of the things that we have to thank for it, is Future Sounds, because they brought us together with all these UK bands, and we're going to be opening for a few of them.
So we managed to foster connections in the UK that's really helped this tour sort of come about. Because now we get to play with these bands in the UK.
So for a few of the gigs that we tried to book, it was really hard, but we ended up connecting with some of the bands that played here, and they made the whole thing a lot easier for us and let us come over to support them.
But
We
I
haven't
suppose
announced
a lot of
venues
it's
yet.
manda emails and go.
Yeah, no, that's the whole thing.
That was the majority
Wow.
of that.
Rollo,
So
¿no?
like for each city, you find 5 or 6 venues.
A venue for
Email
emails.
All of them.
And then whoever says yes, then you go for
You're
it.
in it, yeah.
And then you just sort out the details and the minutiae, and then
For anyone-
next thing you know, you've got a gig there. You know, so
For
it's
anyone who
just a
didn't
strange
know,
thing.
Ray's here today.
Hello.
It's her first time, mi niño. Y se
Tell
escuchaba
everybody
por-
else, the children, the husband. So,
I was gonna say, you really need to get this out to the students.
yes, I was, yeah, exactly right.
Oh yeah.
Because
Absolutely,
it's,
absolutely.
if I was back in uni, that I
Oh,
don't
definitely.
want to
Well,
be.
thankfully, like Leeds,
But
Manchester,
you should
big
appeal to
student
them because
towns,
it's nice
you
to
know.
have this little
Liverpool.
break where you
Liverpool,
go and
big
see
student towns,
tu
and
gente.
Gibraltarians,
Even in
of course.
London, I mean,
Yeah,
¿Qué vas a
Ah,
hacer?
yeah,
Ya no
of
hay
course, yeah, absolutely.
students associations,
loads
¿verdad?
of
Would have been
people.
awesome.
I mean,
that would've been
Jesse McLaren did a gig
Oh, yeah.
with his Jesse Tree
Yeah,
in
yeah.
London, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
loads of people.
Yeah,
it was-
absolutely, absolutely.
I saw the pictures of that.
No, Janito love it, eh?
They do.
When I was in uni, we did a demonstration outside 10 Downing Street.
Oh, really?
Y bajaron un montón de gente, estaba muy pera, ¿verdad?
Yeah. We already have a lot of people here that have said they want to come over
Yeah.
to watch us in UK as well. So that's like a huge compliment that they would want to spend their money and come all the way that way.
You've
Obviously,
got a good fan
not
base.
just
I
for
mean,
us, probably to spend a weekend there or whatever.
everybody I've mentioned you to have said to me they're the best band by far. They're the best band
We're
by
far
far.
too modest to make that sort of claim. We're far too modest.
And
for that
I
sort of
said,
claim.
really, I haven't heard them. And then I said, I have to do this gig and listen to them. So, and you have to fund all this yourselves, do you?
Yeah,
You got a bit of help.
We are seeking out sponsorship.
Yeah, we are.
So you need
currently-
sponsors.
Yeah. We're already in contact with a few different ones, but
Yeah.
obviously we are open to other sponsors that want to get
Part of it.
involved.
Involved in it.
But it is one of those things where you kind of like wonder to yourself, like how do we give back to these sponsors what
Yeah.
they're giving to us,
Yeah.
which is one thing that we are figuring out.
It's kind of like one of the larger problems that I think local bands have in this town, and that's like they want to be able to go to the UK and sort of spread their and cut their teeth in a different scene, but
Yes.
it's just unfeasible because it's so expensive. Just getting flights, getting car rental,
And
getting
it's
accommodation.
at the moment,
All of
anything is expensive.
It's
Olvídate.
terribly
Well, I'm
expensive.
going to have a sandwich.
I mean, it's fair to
Oh, yeah,
say that
please.
we're going to
No,
be
I said
staying.
I feel I should try it while I'm after Ian's
Absolute
made it all.
holes, yeah.
so-
Couch surfing for half of it, and then staying in like Ibis budgets hostels for the rest of
It's all
it.
about, you know?
It doesn't matter where you stay.
Oh
No,
god,
exactly. You're going to be there
That's the least of your
for.
worries.
sleep on a floor if I'm like, yeah, just sleep on a floor. Yeah, happy for it.
It's the thing.
You want some food?
That's how I know.
But yeah, we'll be spending the next few weeks, the next couple months training our bodies for
Training out here.
drinking and
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
It's UK. It's mainland UK.
It's
I
like,
know.
honestly,
It's something you can't get past. There's a student night every night.
bloody night.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows us knows we're big drinkers.
Oh, you like a drink?
It becomes pretty obvious, but that's just, you know,
So,
it's fun.
wrapping this up, because we've all been chatting for a long time. What are your, I mean, apart from your gig in the UK, where do you want to go with this? How far would you like to go with this?
Well, we want to go as far as it'll take us, really. We're not afraid of failure. I think is the biggest thing, which
biggest learning.
makes a lot of people. Because a lot of people think there's no point. There's so many bands, you know what I mean? Like, there's no point even doing it and spending the money. But you know what I mean? Like, the bands that actually do something are the bands that go out and do it. The bands that don't do anything are the bands that talk about it but don't do anything.
And complain about it.
I suppose that you're all in a good situation as well. None of you are tied
Yeah,
down.
we all work full time. We do.
you don't have
he's
kids.
tied down. He hasn't got any kids yet. But
And then he's not tied down.
yeah.
Tie down, yeah.
No, porque por ejemplo, like I was saying, my husband used to play. He used to have a band y todo rollo, but ahora no puede.
No.
And he's like, he used to say, I used to, él se iba a ensayar every evening hasta las 12. And he says, I can't do that now.
No,
So
yeah.
obviously you're in a good
We're
position.
in a very good position because we care about it so much that we're willing to spend the money and we're willing to spend the time.
And what happens with your work? Do they give you like time away and then you just don't get paid? And that's it?
Just normal.
Oh, normal time off.
Just take out annual leave.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
work's been very understanding. Like I'm taking it late. We're all taking late lunches to do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I won't keep you
It's all
too
good.
long. Honestly, it's been wonderful to catch up with you and to hear what you're doing. I'm excited, even though I'm old and everything, old and grey. I'm young at heart, and I think a lot of people my age are interested in what the younger lot are doing with music and jib and stuff.
I like music.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
Anything
interested, come catch us at Rock on the Rock this Friday.
I know.
catch
I
us
saw
Rock on the
that
Rock.
as well.
Yeah.
Where do you
Yeah, I'm out
advertise?
this Friday.
In case anybody wants to get in touch.
Okay, so-
sponsors, whoever might be watching.
Yeah, so you can get.
Listening.
We're on Instagram at Seed of the Band. We are on Facebook. I believe it's facebook.com/Seed of the Band. And then apart from that, we're on YouTube, Spotify. Just type
Everywhere.
in
Ah, you're on
Cedar.
Spotify?
Yeah,
everywhere.
Ahora lo voy a
We've got
poner.
two
We have
singles
to-
out. One's called
Ah.
Night Shift
Yeah.
and one's called Weird. And we'll
Weird.
hopefully
Weird,
have
I like that one.
new music coming out soon as well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
One, I just have to mention one thing. Our
Yeah.
sponsors are called the Travel Counsellors. So if you ever need a holiday, like if you want to chill out after like
Technically,
gigging,
we
Tour,
are.
después del
Technically,
tour.
we are going on holiday. So
yeah. So look up the
work,
Travel
mate,
Counsellors because
I mean,
They're very good.
It's nice because they're like the typical bespoke
travel agents.
travel agents that they
Okay.
We'll keep that in mind. We'll
It
keep
takes
that
the
in mind.
hassle out of having to look. Christian will do it all for you. So.
Okay. Keep that in
And
mind.
thanks to Ian Valentine who's invited us to all this, which we're going to start now.
Yeah, lovely.
And,
Fantastic.
Thank you.
and thank you guys for being here. It's been really nice.